I want to write a program where I have to read the complete file, right? So let's say I want to count the number of lines, count the number of words, count the number of characters. So this is the task. The number of lines, count the number of words, and count the number of characters. Let's quickly write one file for the same, and then we'll read it. So let's write the first file, and then we'll read it. Okay. So how you write the file? Let's say you open the file. One in right mode. Want to write something on the file? So we just print a message to user. Is enter at the rate. Is enter at the rate. Stop writing. And then you take a user input. Set the value of it to none. And you can write while user input is not equal to none or not equal to at the rate. You want to keep asking user, right? Keep asking user. The user input. If the user input is not equal to, if the user input is not equal to at the rate, then you need to write. How you write? F dot write, and you're writing whatever you have taken from the user. And at the last, you need to close the file. And this is I am using for writing the file. And then I will be writing the code to read have the count of number of lines, number of words, and number of characters from a file. So let's say if I run this program, enter a text and say I am learning Java. Okay, so there's one problem here. I stop writing. While writing, I should be adding the new line also. New line. So it does not come in same line. Now I can run again. I am learning Java. Learning Java. I am learning Python. And I am learning and Power at the rate. So let's say I have created one file. You see here my file, file7.txt, and it has three sentences. I am learning Java, I am learning Python, I am learning Perl. I need to know how many lines are there, how many words are there, and how many characters are there in this file. So I will close this now. First thing I will ask user on the file name that what should be the file and if that file name exists or not. So two two models which we already discussed, I will import that. And the next thing I'm asking user for the file name. So I'm saying input the enter the file name. And then if the file name exists, so you can say os.path as one method is file which will return you the boolean value. You need to pass the file name to it. If that file name exists, then you want to create the object of it to open it. Then you will open that file in the read mode. That's saying f equal to open, then read mode. Which file name? Same file name into read mode. It's open the same file name into read mode. Else you will say read same file name and concatenate with the string does not exist. Now let's say if you got the file, then you need to initialize three variables. Count lines, 0, count words, 0, and count characters. That's also 0. The first thing, simply you can what you can do you say for line in or what you say for line in F print line. So if you just print like this and then close the file at the last, you will see you are iterating through a file and simply printing all the set. File name is file7.txt. File7.txt. So it's basically looping through all the lines and giving me this. I am learning Java, I am learning Python, and I am learning Power BI. So you can easily loop through the file using this for loop. Okay, over this F object. So the number of times you loop is the total number of count lines. Okay. So let's say every time it loops, I am saying count line equal to count line plus one. Count line equal to count line plus one. So if you print outside the count lines out of the loop, you will get the total number of count line. Right click run. Enter the file name, my file 7.txt. Enter. Line equal to count line. See three number of lines, right? The count line is three because the file is currently having three lines. Okay. What was the next? The next was to count the number of words. So if this is the line, right? And if you split the line, right? So let's say this is the line, which is a string. And if you split it over the space, right? Or you split it, simply split it over the space. So it will return you the it will basically split the line into words, right? If I right click and run this for the reference, you see my file 7.txt. File name was not existed. My file. Here we forget to exit. We should exit out. This out dot exit. Right. So I put the correct incorrect file name. That's fine. My file.
It's
File
file 7.txt.
file 7.txt. Now you see every line is splitted. See, I am learning. So when you split over a when you split a string over a space, you will get the word, right? So now when I'm looping through, I'm getting every word, right? So this is the word. So if I want to find the total number of words, I just need to get the length of the string, right? So the length of the string will give me the words. So I am splitting this string over what you say over a space. And what I'm getting, I'm getting total number of, or you just split it, not even over the split. By default, it will split it over the space. So what you will getting here, you will be getting the total number of words for a particular line. Let's try to split it like this. File 7. See, see, just split it. It will basically split it over a space only. So where there is a space, it is basically splitting the line, right? So every time I am looping through, I am getting the list. The list will have the complete number of words for the particular line. So let's say if I do, if I split it, I am getting the words. So I just need to find the length of it. So if I get the length of the list, that will be the total number of words for that particular line. So count word equal to count word plus Count plus length of list. So every time it loops through, at last I will be getting the total number of words for a particular line. And when the loop gets over, I will get the total number of words for complete file. And the last is character, right? So character count will be equal to every character for a particular line. So count of characters plus length of line. If you find the length of the line plus adding that to the count of characters will give me the total number of characters for a particular line after the loop is complete. So here count characters. Right, again run this file name and you will say count characters. If you run the file which is file7.txt, now you are getting the 3 lines, total 12 words and 62 characters in that file. This much is clear?
Yes.
Let's say, let's move to another program. Let's say program 2. Now, till now, we have dealt with the, let's say, image text file. Let's try to make one copy of image file, right? So what I will do, I will simply drag one image file. Let's say this is the image file. So I'm just copy pasting it, copy, and just pasting it to our project. Okay. Let's say copy and paste. So this is the image file I am copy pasting. See, I have the image file now, which is Virat Kohli's image file. Okay. So what I need to do here, I need to create a copy of it, program program, right? So image files are basically binary files, and I want to create copy of this image file. So what I will do first, I will open it. So which file I want to open? I want to open this download.jpg, and which mode? Binary read mode, right? So RB. That's a binary file. You have to open it in binary mode. Is this fine? So this is
So
opening the file in.
binary is RP.
Yeah, for binary files, you need to write RB.
R. Okay.
Okay. So opening the files in binary mode. So once the file is open, you have to here open. So you have to create another file where you want it to copy it. So I said new JPG. And here what you need to do on this file, you need to write the file. So you say WB, write binary file. So F1 dot read. So it will read all the bytes. Okay. So it will read all the bytes, and then F2 you not write. What will you write? Bytes. So we are reading the bytes from file 1 and writing it on file 2 and then closing both the files. So F1 dot close and F2 dot close. So F1 dot close and F2 dot close will both at the last we'll close both the files. So if I save this and if I run this, Yeah, I will be commenting this first program. Then we'll stop this and again run this. If you see, if I run this file, automatically you should be seeing another image.jpg, which is another same image. So I read the pixel for bytes from this file and just copied it to the this file. So there are two files now. This I have done programmatically. Clear?
Yes.
So now there is another way to open the file and do the operation, right? Where you don't need to take care of closing the file. Closing of the file will take care itself by itself. Okay. So in Python, we can also open the file with keyword. You can say with open which file you want to read. Let's say you want to read my file 7.txt. In which mode? Let's say in read mode. And you say have to give the reference as f. So this is a reference variable. So this line is equivalent to this line. With open file 7.txt in the read mode as f. When you write it like this, you don't need to take care of closing the file. Okay, so you can read the line for line in f, print line, print line. If you run this, it will simply print the number of lines, right? Lines are printed. You don't need to take care of closing the file. The closing of the file will happen itself only. Okay. If you want to write something or you want to append something, then you can simply do it with the same with keyword with open. You want to open the file in what mode? So write mode itself. My file as ref2. Take the user from the input from user, put, enter the text. That's it. Whatever you entered, let's store that into a variable. It should be append plus mode. And then you write it on that. So have to dot write. Write it along with the blank string. Don't need to take care of closing the file as well, right? Just need to write. If you right click and run this. This way you can also write into the file. Say I am learning data analysis. You open the file, you see the fourth line is also added. So this way also you can open the file in Python. Now this, let's say, the next operation is So now I'm writing one. So I'm creating an object now. Let's say with the class, help of the class. Now I'm talking about the data file. So the extension will be dat file. Okay, dat. Now what I'm doing, I'm creating the object. So this is a class. Let's say I'm creating the objects. So this is object one. Let's say this is object two. Let's say, and this is object three. So object one has first name, last name, salary, last name and salary. Also, let's say first name, last name. We'll have more when we are writing the code. Here is also first name, last name, and here is also first name and last name. So let's say I have here is Simran. Here, let's say it's smartphone. It's it. Now, what we need to do, we need to write these objects into one data file. So in data file, it will go like this. So it will be Chinmay, Deshpande, and Rohit Dani, Rohit Dani, and then it will be Vijitra. So there is a pickle class in Python which will help you to do this, where you are basically taking the object into a file. So when you do this, so it's a dumping operation. So it's a pickle dot dump. You are dumping what? You are dumping the object into one file. You can again convert or read the objects from a file. So this operation will be loading operation. So it's a pickle dot load. This model pickle has this where you want to load the file and read the objects out of the file. So dumping operation when you're basically converting the objects into the file or taking your objects to the data file. And when you're basically again reverting the operation means you are basically reading the file and basically converting those file objects into Python program or Python readable code. That's loading operation. We need to do this now. You come here, say you will quickly clear the class. Let's say I create a class here, employee. And through this employee, I'm reading three values using constructors. I would say DEF underscore init name dot name equal to name ID and salary length. ID and salary reads sub dot name equal to name sub dot ID equal to ID sub dot salary equal to just creating one method to display it. So display method DEF display and dot name dot id, and you have self dot name, self dot id, and self dot salary. Just printing the values. I want to create the object out of this class and write it in the data file. So how can you do it? So basically ask the user. So you can ask the user for number of inputs. Number of input. Enter the number of employee you want to create. Enter the number of employees. Employees to be created. Whatever it inputs, it will be string. So convert it into the integer. So these are the number of users he wants you to create out of this class. So users. And you just run a loop for X in range of users. Whatever the user count he has given, you have to look through it. And you need to ask user for three things. Which three things? Name, ID, and salary. Say input, enter the name, enter the name, ID, input, enter the ID. Last is salary. Input, enter the salary. Whatever they have input, you need to create object out of it. How you create object out of class? By calling the constructor. So this E will be the object, and this employee, the constructor, we need to pass three values. Which three values? Which we have taken from the user only. So I am writing this ID, and our last one is salary. After this is done, we need to write it. So to write data file, we have here one inbuilt, you can say package or module, which is pickle. Model pickle. Now this model pickle has many functions, out of which to basically write into a file, we have, we are not open any file, so we need to open also file, right? So I forget here to write the open operation. So we need to open one file. Which file we need to open? Employee dot date file, data file. And in which mode? The operation will be binary, so WB. Okay, fine. So now I open the file, and to this file I need to write this employee. So I will say pickle dot dump is the method. What do you need to dump? You need to dump this object. And where you need to dump? You need to dump this object into file, the file which we have opened. So let's say user input 2. So this for loop will completely run for the two times, asking user for name, ID, and salary, creating object out of it, and dumping that object to this file. And at the last, what you need to do? You need to close the file. Close. So if you right click and run, and you say 2, then it will ask you for the two times. So let's say my ID is 1, salary is 10,000. Sarika, so ID is 2, 20,000. So one file will be created, see emp.data file. And on that data file, you have stored the objects. The file will not be readable format because it's a Boolean file. So this is a machine code. Okay. So you have done one operation. Which operation it is? To write the data file. How you write it? By creating the object of a class. Now what you need to do? Second operation is to read this file. So reading the data file, reading the fat file. How you start reading the file? So simply open the file first. What is the file name? emp.data, and you need to open it RB. So this will be the employee details. I'll say employee details. Employee. So we are having one while loop which will run infinitely. So while true, and what I need to, what I'm trying to do here, just read the file. So pickle dot load, and which this I need to load this F2 reference. So one by one it will read. So here while true, it will basically load this file F2, which is emp.d, and one by one it will read the object. So when this loop while loop will run for the first time, it will give me the first object. And then on that object, I can call the method. Which method? Display method. So I will say obj.display. But over a certain duration, all the objects, reading of all the objects will be done, right? So this program will raise an exception, which is end of the file exception. So this while loop has to be exist, right? We need to exist this while loop. And when we can exit this while loop, once all the objects are read completely, right? So we need to write it like this, try. I want to try to load this file and read every object, right? And this, if the objects reading of the all the objects is done, automatically the control will go to the exception block, where you will say EOF error, end of the file error you will get it. And once you move to that exception, you need to immediately break through saying ran out of the input, right? So end of the file. Once you reach end of the file, so what will happen? It will basically try, it will loop through and it will read the object and call the display method of it. Second time, it will also loop, read the object, display, call the display method of it. Third time, because there is no object, it will move to the exception. I will print the exception message and I will immediately break out of the this infinite while loop, reading all the objects done. And at the last, I will what do? I will basically close the file. So after close, see. So it has read all the file, all the objects. The objects was Chinmay 1, 10,000, Sarika 2, 20,000. So load method to convert the or to bring back the objects from the file into Python readable code, and basically to write the objects into the file, we have dump method. Is this fine?
Yes. I I have a question. Can we like do for a specific number of data, or like it will run all the
Yeah.
files
Next,
so far?
next, next topic will be same, right? We'll be doing
Okay.
4 operations on a binary file, adding to a file, replacing file, reading the particular text, right? So next 2 days we'll be learning this. Yep.
And one more question, like what, like we can make dictionary. So what is the difference between files and dictionary?
File you have dictionary you just have on the runtime, right? Once your
Mm-hmm.
program closes, that closes. File you are basically saving the data, right? It's like database, right?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
We connect tomorrow for the next topic. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.